was the year.
I would like to call this meeting to order. I will accept a motion to approve the minutes of July 5, 2022.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor? Good. Rick Moore is absent. Appointments, recognitions, and resignations. Appointment of Abby Rose, part-time employee to the Mount Desert Fire Department at a rate of $26.72 an hour.
Move appointment.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Consent agenda, department reports, public works, and Hancock County Commissioners special meeting minutes of June 21, 2022.
Move the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Selectmen's reports. Any selectmen's reports?
Nope.
No. Unfinished business, Harbor Committee's parking subcommittee interim reports.
Mr. Motenko is on
Yeah.
the board here.
Howie.
Hi, everyone. Just give me 1 second to get all my stuff squared away on Zoom. I think I'm here. All right. And what was I going to ask? I'm going to share my screen if that's okay to give this report. So here we go. And then the report. So here's the report that you guys have in your packet. So,
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for hearing me out here. I wanted to fill you guys in what we've been doing at the as part of the Harbor Committee. We formed a parking subcommittee last year, and we've been we did a survey last year of the parking, and I want to share that with you. And then we're intending on doing a survey again this year. Well, we've started it already, and I just wanted to express, what's going on and what we're doing just to keep you guys informed. That's really what it comes down to. So please ask questions along the way. I don't mind any interruptions. And I'll say the same for all my fellow committee members. If you want to interject something, please do so as I give the report. So the first thing is I really want to emphasize that our primary focus for starting this subcommittee was to ensure adequate parking for those conducting marina business and activities. That's our primary concern. Everything else is, if it happens, it's great. We're not trying to exclude anyone or anything. We're just trying to ensure there's adequate parking for marina business first and foremost. Okay, with that, a brief overview of how this all happened. There's been anecdotal and previous observed information raising concerns about non-marina use, so things that have come up over the years and just tossed around, but we have no evidence one way or another. Exploiting overnight parking. So people illegally overnight park and then they leave their car there all day because it's free parking, when it's not illegal to park overnight. So that just creates a burden is the theory. The Island Explorer, there was some suggestion that people park at the marina and take the Island Explorer into Bar Harbor, and maybe that's causing too much angst. I don't know. We're no judgment here. We're just laying this out. And then inability for effective enforcement. It just that the way it was enforced before, it wasn't as effective as it could be. I mean, I think we all understand, you write a ticket, but there isn't much teeth to the ticket. So I think that's what's going on there. But that's being resolved. So we created this parking subcommittee. It's Jim Black's story, Chris Moore and myself. And then we've had consulting with John, obviously the harbor master, and Dave Kearns has been super helpful on the police department to kind of just give us some heads up as to what's going on and what we can and can't do with the new parking system that they have in place. So what we decided was to do a survey and survey it. And it was sort of like a citizen survey. And I'm just gonna bring the screen over occasionally so you can see, these figures as I talk about them. And I guess at the same time, I need to bring this one over here so I know what I'm saying. So if the idea was you would just run around, we segregated the parking into 9 different areas. you'd run around and you just count how many empty parking spaces there are. And it turns out the survey takes 8 minutes. I've done it by car, I've done it by bicycle, and I've done it walking. And either any way you do it, it takes 8 minutes to do. So it's not terribly burdensome. And our committee has taken the call to do this, and we did it, So after you fill out the form, then there's a Google entry spreadsheet kind of thing where you can just fill out this, and then it goes into a spreadsheet, and I can, crunch the numbers, so to speak. So what happened, right? So we'll call it, our goal was to get from July 1st to August 30th or whatever that is, July and August. But we figured we'd do the, 15 days on either side of the shoulder season. So in fact, it's 3 months worth of data from June 15th pretty much to September 15th. We got a little excited and kept on going. And so there were over 200 parking surveys, in that time from these folks doing this. It was 90 days, like I said. And you can see sometimes we had four surveys, July 7th, there were 4 surveys done. It was completely random. People just did it when they could. And honestly, I think for everyone, it felt like it was more of something, honorable to do than a chore. If everyone was assigned a day, it would be a chore. Oh, I have to go down. But now, like, I'm helping, and so that's what happened. Let's see. Oh, the other people that helped out were Jim Bright and Donna Reese. So I definitely want to mention them. And we had varied hours between 3 a.m. all the way to 4 p.m. Here we go. So here's some more. So here are all the people that participated in the survey and what percentage they contributed. And then for hours, so most of the survey we did at noontime because we felt that was where the problem is, but we also took some surveys at other times as well, early in the morning and late in the afternoons. And just for sake, I don't know why, but I said, let's check the weather too. Maybe that has something to do with it. So we monitored the weather. It wasn't critical. So I think the thing for you to know at this point is that we really wanted to make this a longitudinal study, a 2-year study. And so this is the first year of the study. And at the time that we planned it, we had no idea, what was going on with the Island Explorer. And it turns out that it was just dumb luck that the Island Explorer didn't come to Northeast Harbor last year. And we did the survey, and now it's coming this year and we're doing the survey again. So we'll definitely be able to gather some data from that. Who knows what it means, but we'll see. And let's see, what else can I tell you about the longitudinal part? I think that the important takeaway is that, it's really randomized and it's varied, so that I think it's a valid survey in that sense, in terms of, different people doing it, different times, different days, all of that. So the other thing that just happened was that we're down there, we're observing things, right? As we're counting cars. So we took some pictures. So this is why we have concerns about the bicycles. So these are the bicycle tours that didn't ask for a permit, and here they are, just sucking up spaces. You got a car detailing, fellow that wants to do car detailing in the farmer's market. I'm just showing you what we've taken pictures of. That's all. Here's more bicycles. And then, trailers and campers parked across spaces here. This might be the funniest picture of last year. This guy's camping out with his trailer, with his generator and his solar power and all this. So there was definitely some weird things going on, and then the trailer parking was an issue as well that we identified. So the really big takeaway here is that we weren't looking to make a lot of changes this year. We were really looking to just make observations and then be able to do comparisons for next year. But I wanted to share those pictures with you, as a snippet of what we see. All right, so then data graphs. Yeah, so now let's talk about the data, what actually happened. So here's sort of how to read this graph, the way I intended it to be read. So the idea here is that this is the noontime capacity of the tennis courts lot, and there's 98 spaces. And so when there's a low number here, that means that's how many spaces were available when the survey was done. So you can see here, and this dotted line is 10%. So whatever 10% of 90, well, it's 10 cars. I could do 10% of 98. So 10 cars. And then this solid line is 15%. So you can see, from July 1st to, well, right in here, there's a tremendous amount of time when there's hardly any parking in the tennis courts right now. Well, for last year. The other things, just for your reference, these little asterisks here mean that it's farmer's market day, and the gray ones were days that it was raining. So just an indication of rain days there, which gives some context to these numbers as well. If you see the line going below, that means one or two people, this might be two people illegally parked in the tennis courts. So, there was that. And then so I have these graphs for every lot, and it's interesting to see and all that. But I think what's more interesting is the aggregated noontime capacities, so now that, like I'm tracking when it's 100% occupied, 90% occupied, and 85% occupied, here's the boat owners stuff, right? So out of all the days, out of those 90 days, about 10 of them, the boat owner, sorry, we were talking tennis courts. You guys help me out when I go off script here. Where's the tennis courts? The tennis courts right here. So the tennis courts, so, about 10 days, the tennis courts were completely full. And it looks like 30 days, the tennis courts were at least 90% full. And so I just wanted to inform you, what the intent of reading these graphs were. So all that being said, the first year improvements, we really wanted to make small steps. I should stop here. Does anyone have any questions so far about the data and the graphs I've shown before I start getting into all the verbiage? Okay, great. So first steps for first year improvements, we really wanted to take small steps. We weren't looking to make a lot of changes, but there were some glaring things that we noticed that we could fix easily. So adding a stripe to the farmers market parking area for safety reasons. People were driving in and out of that, including myself. Installing some new fresh signs so that it was crystal clear to people what it meant by 1 hour parking and what it meant by trailer and truck parking. And that would make it easier to issue tickets if people, couldn't understand what it said there. And then, we made a suggestion that we'd like to see that there was no overnight parking for Cranberry Isles people this year. They have a lot, at the up by you guys there by the police station. And I guess when that overflowed, there was some confusion as to who made a permit or what happened. So now all the permits, all overnight permits are being issued by the harbor master. And we just asked, at least for this year, to see what's going on, that we're not going to honor any Cranberry Isles. And there are alternatives, I mean, they have, the parking lot with spaces, the Gray Cow, they offered more spaces there. The Catholic Church parking lot, I understand, Haynes will allow you to pay. And honestly, I looked into this. If you park at the Gateway Center in Trenton, you get 7 days free parking, and you could take the Island Explorer from there all the way to Northeast Harbor and get on the ferry and go off to the Cranberries. All right, parking enforcement. So they initiated the new online digital parking system in the marina as well. The boat owners have registration online. Right now, it's not self-registration. It may be in the future. And overnight permits are, we already talked about that, issued by the harbor master. The harbor master was issued one of those new electronic gizmos. We're not sure what we call it. They call it a zebra, but we all understand it's, an iPhone that generates tickets. And the authorized users are the harbor master, assistant harbor master, and office manager. And we really wanted to focus and do a little bit more focused enforcement now that we have these tools and signage. And so it's really a gentle approach, warnings first. This is new for everyone. We're really just trying to get things in order. We're not trying to, make people pay tickets. And we're looking at overnight parking. That's a big one. And I think I expressed before how that might affect the day parking lots as well. And the boat owners parking lot is an easy one to manage. And the 1 hour, I think John and his crew are going out there occasionally. I saw, they showed me how they were doing it. So they're monitoring the 1 hour parking now, which is great. And the truck and trailer lots being monitored more often now too. So basically our next steps are we're conducting a second survey this summer and then analyzing the data from both and then proposing improvements for 2023. And we'll make a final presentation to the Harbor Committee and the Board of Selectmen in the spring of 2023, hopefully. The spring go till June. It'll be done by June. That's really where we're at with all of this. And the last thing I really want to speak to is, we're focusing on this because it's been a problem for years and years, and it just seemed time to maybe address it. But understand overall, the Northeast Harbor Marina is doing great. I mean, I don't know from your perspective, but from our perspective, it's fantastic. It's financially self-supporting. We're continuing to do capital improvements. We're going to upgrade the docks, the ramps going out to the docks this year. There was a little snafu earlier with the bidding, but it's all sorted out. And then the other thing that every time I go down there and look, I'm truly amazed at what a shared community space that this town has and how wonderful it is. I mean, you all know, but I just want to reinforce, we're honoring marina businesses, we're honoring tourism, nonprofit organizations, local fishermen, local residents, leisure activities, tennis, lunch, all that stuff's happening in that one space. It's truly amazing and it's going great. And finally, true appreciation to John, the harbor master. He has been a super supportive person and partner with us in all of the work that we're doing. And really, it's just a pleasure working with him in that regard. And then the police department has given us a lot of support and being willing to talk to us about different areas and things that we need. That's the report.
Right.
Any thoughts or ideas you want to share?
Well, thank you, Howie.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
this
was
is great.
very
Very
thorough.
Very good.
Took a lot of work.
Good information.
Okay. The one
What-
thing.
I do
Go
have
ahead.
a question.
Yeah, John.
Okay, Howie, and it gets to one of my issues is it's actually enforcement. So I saw the camping guy and we saw the inappropriate use of parking spaces and so forth in the private businesses. Who's supposed to be enforcing that?
Well, I'm not exactly sure, right? So I think it's something between the harbor master and the police department. I don't know. And honestly, John is doing a yeoman's work over there, keeping that harbor going and running ever so smoothly. And we've just dropped a ton of new work on him, with monitoring all these parking lots and all this stuff. And he's helping out with this. So I don't know the answer to that question, John, who actually is responsible. John, you're here. Do you want to speak to it at all? John Lemoyne. Okay, maybe he stepped away for a minute.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to speak to it from the committee?
I'm here, Howie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, John's here.
So it's a joint operation between my office and the police department. Jim Willis was a great help with the bike tours. He reached out to them and it really solved our problem. We've had a couple of small ones show up this year that nobody ever heard of. When I've been made aware of it, I've gone out, had nice conversations with the people. made them aware of the rules and how to proceed if they wanted to file for a right to be there, and it's worked out well.
Okay.
Oh, so are there any, anything the committee would like us to monitor while we're doing this? The selectmen, I mean.
Sounds like you're covering
Sounds like you've
everything.
got about
Yeah.
everything, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Okay,
we'll
thank you
we'll
very much.
continue. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Great, thanks. All right. We need to make a motion to accept the report, is that standard?
It's always a good thing to. put
All
in
right, why
there.
don't we do that?
So I would move that we accept the report as presented with thanks. Second.
All in favor? Thanks again, Howie.
My pleasure.
New business, public space of special event application, Girl Scout Troop 1368 Car Wash, Northeast Harbor Village Green, August 6, 2022.
I think Mr. Wood is. Mr. Wood, the applicant is on the line. I think I saw him there.
Yeah,
So basically, it's a sort of a, if you go through the history of that, there was a number of considerations
Right.
of places to do that. And I think, John, can you speak to that, that you mentioned that you thought that the farmer's market might work, but there was question on water pressure there, whether you could do a high speed or high pressure wash.
Yeah.
given the capacity.
Well, this is really great to come right after Howie's presentation, because even on days when the farmer's market is not there, even the farmer's market lot spaces are full. I don't have an issue with them being there, but there's a potential that there's going to be very limited space. We'd have to have something blocked off. My only other consideration is the water. I don't think water pressure is going to be the issue, but there isn't any spigots there anymore. So we have to use this special tool that we've been given by the irrigation company that plugs into one of our irrigation lines. And that's the only way that we could get them water. So, you know, the constant pressure of a hose going off and on, you know, washing cars is, in my opinion, would put a lot of stress on our irrigation system. You know, I'm not a professional on what that would entail, but that's my only concern.
Annalise.
Hmm.
Reading through this, it didn't sound like a good idea. to
no,
me.
no, I agree.
So I think the high school would be a great location.
Well, or that spot across the street from the one stop would be better visibility.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're looking for people stopping that drive
Well,
by
if
and
they can
know
get
about it.
permission from the bank, yeah.
Right, or actually the owner of that lot is
Oh, no,
different.
it's,
Yeah, big farm.
yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Big open lot.
So yeah, I don't love the way this sounds.
Yep. Excuse me.
Yeah, Tony, go ahead.
If there's questions about the water pressure, I'd suggest speaking with the water district if John hasn't.
Water pressure is not going to be the issue. There's plenty of pressure there.
It's
It's
what?
just the constant jolting on it would be running through our irrigation lines that are running throughout the green out there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all just plastic PVC underground there.
Mhm.
You know, I just,
Seems like a bad idea.
Plus it's August 6th in the harbor.
Yeah, we have
Just-
parking issues.
Seems like a bad idea.
Is Annalise looks like has.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Annalise.
Sorry, I lost my voice. I had a kid party yesterday. I'm actually Brittany. My daughter's Annalise. It's under her name.
Okay,
Can you understand me okay?
yes.
Okay, so my husband is Tom Wood. It's our Girl Scout troop. We're extremely open to any date and any location. We noticed when we were there that there is no car washes past Ellsworth. And I just thought it would be, and there's a lot of nice cars that need to be washed. And I just, I used to do Girl Scout car washes when I was a kid, and I think it would be a really, really good fundraiser for us. It's a brand new Girl Scout troop, and we started it after cookie season, so we haven't been able to have any real fundraising with these girls, and we're trying to do a lot of stuff with them. They're very behind. So we're open to any location and really like any date also. We're not tied down to that, but the application made us put it on it. So all of that is kind of up to you guys. We're not really familiar with MDI, but any input that you have on location or date, whatever works best for anything. And as far as like cost goes, if there is a cost in using water, we would definitely pay for that. We don't expect it to cost you guys anything. That's all I have to say at this point.
Okay, thank you.
So I think for us, I mean, we would completely support your car wash, but it's that area. And I think Claire might have shared a few other options for you that might be better and might have even like more hoses and more, opportunities to have it be even easier. And like that time of year it's almost impossible. And I think you'd make more money if you had it like in Soamesville, up across from Soamesville One Stop in that lot up there, or even at the high school parking lot. I work at the high school, and if you want to call
I like the high school.
tomorrow,
It's a big area, and we're going to be doing a ton of advertising, so I'm not worried about like, is there a lot of traffic by the high school anyway, or no?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's off the Eagle Lake Road, which is
Okay.
and it's sort of centrally located. So,
Okay.
I mean, I think that would give you, Soamesville probably would be more traffic, but I think people are gonna support, your idea and your troop, and you're right, they need a car wash.
And I think the high school would be safer.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. And you could, you could put a sign, what people do, you put a sign at the traffic light at the Soamesville One Stop, and it's like literally a quarter mile down the road is where the high school is. So if you put a sign, car
We
wash
have
this way.
signs all the way.
Yeah, I mean, people
Okay.
would,
So
Is
do you
it
want,
okay
do you want,
to put a bunch of signs up? Like, we plan on putting a lot of them up. Do we need permission to do that? As long as we take them down afterwards, obviously.
Do they have to have permission, Derlin, to put the signs up?
Temporary ones, I think I could talk to Kim, but
Yeah.
they can get a temporary permit to put up some signs.
You ought
and
to
stuff like
call the
that.
town office to get temporary permission for the signs.
It's not a problem for, especially for nonprofits.
Yeah.
All right.
We can figure that out.
but the bottom line.
Is there a date? Is there a date? A date?
Yeah.
that's
Brittany,
better?
call the high school tomorrow if you can,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
Tom, if you want to.
Yeah,
I work at the
okay.
high school.
Okay.
And I'm happy to help you get that organized and give you some ideas of dates before sports and stuff start. So
What is your
Wendy,
Wendy? Okay.
Yeah.
And is the high school open? There's somebody there answering.
yes, yeah, the office is open and I work in the office. So give a call tomorrow and I'll try to help you get that organized.
Okay. And then do we need to do this again to get it approved?
No.
No,
Okay. All right.
Because
Fantastic.
because we don't own that spot. We just will
Okay.
have to deny the permit application for today.
So
Okay,
we're
so-
gonna deny your permit, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. You just can't do it there, okay?
Okay. Okay. All right. We just want to make sure that we can do it there. but-
It goes over into
Yeah.
Bar Harbor too, doesn't it?
You'll be all right at the high school. They'll let you do it. It'll be
Okay.
fine.
Awesome.
thank you guys.
I promise, but.
All
All right.
thank
right,
you.
Okay, so
So do
we need a
we
motion
approve it?
we
No,
make a
don't
motion
deny
in
it.
positive and then we.
Okay.
tonight.
Okay.
So I move we approve the public space event application for the Girl Scout troop.
Second,
All in favor? All opposed? Okay, thank you.
So silly.
That's Robert's rules.
I got it.
I know, I think it's silly too.
Request authorization to bid out the construction of two 60-foot aluminum ramps for the north and public dock entrances. Northeast Harbor CIP number 6410100-24680 has a balance of $99,381.54.
Move authorization.
Second,
All in favor? Okay. Consideration of the purchase of a model year 2024 plow truck and chassis from Daigle and Houghton for $98,000 using funds from the Public Works Equipment Reserve Account number 4050100-24500 with a current balance of approximately $220,616, leaving a balance of approximately $122,616 in the account if the purchase is approved.
I would move approval of the purchase.
Second,
All in favor?
Tony, what's the timeline for something like that? I mean,
This one's going to be 2 years.
okay,
That's why
So-
we're getting in the queue for this one and the one, a garbage
That we-
truck that we'll be getting bids for.
okay,
Yeah,
perfect. Thank you.
thank you.
All right.
Yeah, 2024.
Yeah.
All right, we all set with that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Consideration of authorizing Public Works Director Tony Smith to execute all documents necessary to facilitate the purchase of the truck and chassis on behalf of the town.
Move authorization.
second,
All in favor?
Thank you.
Consideration of awarding the town's fiscal year 23 paving contract to Northeast Paving in the amount of $392,031 for paving work on Indian Point Road, Farnham's Way, and Sydney's Way, to be paid for using funds from the Public Works Department. Appropriations paving budget account number 1550100-53250, leaving $17,969 in budget.
Move consideration of that paving contract as written.
second,
All in favor? As in the past, authorize Public Works Director Tony Smith to expend the remaining budget balance of $17,969 in the best interests of the town to pay for example, any increase in the amount of pavement used by the contractor should the bid quantities be exceeded due to the existing condition of the road surfaces, an increase in liquid asphalt costs based on the escalator clause, or paving another yet to be identified location.
Move authorization as presented.
second,
All in favor? Consideration of authorizing Northeast Paving to commence paving July 19, 2022, to be completed within 7 working days.
Move authorization as presented.
second,
All in favor?
Not tomorrow.
They,
Yeah,
It
tomorrow.
sure is. Good thing, huh? There you squeaked that one by, Tony.
well,
Okay, go ahead.
they, am I on? They let us know this morning that they can't get their bonds for tomorrow morning. This is a gigantic company owned by the main offices in the Czech Republic. So they used to be Lane Construction. So their paperwork shuffling is a little slower than others. So they expect to start on the 25th.
So should we change the date in that motion, or does that allow you the time since it's 7 days?
What you said, Wendy, if by a stroke of luck, we get the bonds tomorrow or Wednesday and they want to start, I'd like to get them. They are very difficult to get scheduled.
All right.
So should we?
but should it say something like?
Commence
consider like
paving.
As soon as
or
available.
as soon as possible.
Sure,
Something like that.
sure.
Okay,
Thank
why
you.
don't we amend that?
So I would amend my motion to consider authorizing Northeast Paving to commence as soon as possible to work with Tony Smith with that date.
Second,
And to complete within 7 days. We want.
Yes, and to complete within 7 days as written.
second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Consideration of authorizing Public Works Director Tony Smith to sign the contract with Northeast Paving on behalf of the town.
I would move authorization.
Second,
All in favor?
Thank you. And thank you for your patience with this.
Thank you, Tony.
So Tony, can I ask then, you, one of the paving, because of all the price rises, you had to take one of the paving jobs you'd hoped to do off the table. So will that be like at the top of the list for next year, or?
That's what Ben is looking at. I typically ask Ben, what do you plan for next
Okay.
year, for this year? And I typically go over it, defer to him, but yes. Correct.
Okay, and you're
Yes,
not gonna
it's
get a
me.
lot of, we're not gonna get a lot of angry folks that
No.
we're hoping to be paved. Okay, perfect.
No.
Thank you.
Not that I'm aware of, but
No,
what's your
that's
phone
fine.
number, Jeff?
No.
Okay, anything else? Nope, other business.
well, we lost
We
our
didn't
audience.
Did we do treasurer warrant?
Nope, that's
No,
not.
I haven't
Oh,
got, I
sorry,
gotta do other business first.
No.
No other
Sorry, I
business.
missed that.
Okay, treasurer's warrants, town invoice AP 2306 in the amount of $521,458.12.
Move approval.
Second,
All in favor? State fees and payroll benefits, AP 2304, AP 2305, and town payroll PR 2301 in the amount of $231,231.75.
move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
One abstention.
Abstention.
See how smooth that was?
Acknowledge school invoice number 1, 7/7/13/22, and school invoice number 1 from 7/8/22 in the amount of $273,897.14.
Move acknowledgement.
Second,
All in favor? Great. I would accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
second.
All in favor?
Thank you, folks.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Pretty good.